Good evening everyone and welcome to TTL F2 Season 4 Round 7 here in Belgium. It's F1 2019 as per usual. I'm not Kieran McGinley. I know people tuning in to see Kieran McGinley. He's not here tonight, I'm afraid. He is not here tonight. He's got work to do and he has left me by myself to run things on the stream. So there we go. But welcome everyone to TTL F2. As I say, I am JamesHead14, usually the co-commentator. I'm stepping in as lead commentator here tonight for the Belgian Grand Prix. Yes, we have got Australia on our screens at the minute. I trust you, I trust everyone that it is Belgium. It is definitely Belgium here tonight. Alan Kay has probably just nipped up for a coffee just to replenish himself ahead of the race that will unfold, of course, with the F2 cars. And coming into tonight's race, Siege obviously taking his fourth race win of the season last time out in Germany. Of course, he's also taken wins in Australia, China, Spain, and that seems to be good in the standings for him because he is in the lead of the standings on 129 points in that Carling car. White in second on 100 points, Sean in third on 43. Massive gap between White and Sean there. Of course, Sean will be looking to gain that gap for sure because, of course, White is not attending. Mays on 38 points up in 4 in the Dams, with Crazy Legs and Navy filling out on 35 points, tying out for 5th out on track in the Prima and the MP Motorsports respectively. Casper in 7th on 31, then we've got Maximus in 8th on 26, the two Art Grand Prix cars. Hoodie and Lyronix. Lyronix, of course, this is his third race here tonight, I do believe. We have got Belgium planned. Australia is still on my screen at this moment in time, so yeah. Honey and Lyronix, by the way, on 25 points in the Campos and the Arden respectively. And then moving on to the lower half of the field, we've got S. Graham on 19, Afri on 18, Jeffrey on 14, Bishy on 12, Uzi on 11, Alan Kay on 7, Liam Hustwick on 4, and Graham Roberts on 1. And coming into tonight as well, after round 6 in Germany, 130 points to Colin. They are leading the way by 40 points out on track at this stage. 40 points out on track. Campos in second on 90, with Charoux in third on 86. 4 points separating the second and third in the team standings. Then there's a bit of a gap down to Prima, Arden, 54 and 51 for 4th and 5th. Now listen to this. MP Motorsport on 49. Three-way tie for 7th, with 45 points going to Dams, Art and Trident. So really close there. 9 points separating separating 6 teams out on track. So 9 points separating 6 teams out on track here tonight. And Russian time, of course, Liam Hustwick debuting from them last week. They're not on nil point anymore. They're on 4 points, and I think the Russian time team will be very happy with Liam Hustwick's performance last week. Of course, we are here at Belgium. There are 2 DRS zones, one on the Kemmel Straight between turns 4 and 5, which is of course Radion and up to Le Com. And then there's also DRS straight on the start-finish straight, which is after the bus stop chicane turn 19, going down into the hairpin at turn 1. So there are the 2 DRS zones. The speed trap, by the way, for those of you folks who don't know what a speed trap is, it is the measurement where they take the fastest, essentially it's the fastest time that the car's going through the speed trap. So say if you're going 180 odd mile an hour through the speed trap, that will get measured and that will get put down, and usually it's quite effective if you are one of those analysts within Formula 1 or Formula 2, as is the case here tonight. But we're nearing 8 o'clock. There is a sign that Alan Kay should be here. He should be here anyways. He's in a car. Jack is also here. Jack is also here tonight. If I get my words out, that'll be absolutely fantastic. Of course, Jack actually a debutant here tonight in TTL F2. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. Of course, familiarising yourself with TTL F1, he's been performing well in TTL F1, so be hoping for a much better result, or a similar sort of result here tonight as we move on to Belgium. We've also got a new driver attending as well. For those of you who don't know, Pedro, he's a Spanish driver. Pedro is here and currently on a 3-bar connection. He fills in the Trident car alongside Afri, who's recently a new addition as well to the league. His debut last week in Germany, finishing second. And Pedro was due to come in Canada. He's had 3 DNSs so far, but he is here tonight, and we wish him the best of luck in his debut race. And I think it's going to be quite interesting to see how he gets on tonight. But as we approach the final hour of 8 o'clock, by the way, if you were, if this was an hour earlier, a big thunderstorm. There was a massive thunderstorm here. A couple of, probably about half an hour ago. It's gone since. But there was a massive thunderstorm, and honestly, if I was commentating in that, then I think I'd be detracting away the attention from elsewhere. But here we go anyways. We have got a few comments coming in. I'll have a check of them now. Just having a look. Storm says good evening. Good evening to Storm. Good evening to Lyronix as well. He's saying Honey is going to dominate the race here tonight. Of course, Honey Badger, another TTG driver that is coming in. And Jeffrey also tuning in saying good evening, mate. Good to see you again. Good luck to everybody. Let's hope I can finish the race today. Let's hope you can finish the race. The track has been changed, so we are now at Belgium, one of the most historic tracks on the calendar. Of course, it is going to form part of a 22 race calendar in Formula 1. And if people haven't seen the breaking news in the last couple of hours, Spain replaces, essentially gets rid of Germany. So we've got no Hockenheim next year, which for Lyronix and Afri will be really bad news. But the Spanish Grand Prix is going to form part of the calendar. We think it is going to form around race 5 in the calendar as its normal slot. Of course, be interesting to see how that happens. They may opt to go Vietnam, Baku, then Spain, which will put it as round 6. So it'll be interesting to see how they slot that in. But we are getting going for Belgium. It's one-shot qualifying. My voice is going, as you can probably tell. It is a little bit croaky. I do apologise. I didn't think it would be this bad on the stream, but there we go. Just looking through recent performances actually in TTL F2. Honey Badger actually, interesting point by Lyronix there. The only race, as Uzi has left the session, so Uzi has left the session, we're down to 12. I'm not sure if there is some disconnections going on, might be the weather here in the UK causing it, who knows. Back to what I was saying about Honey, the only race that he's done this season in Austria, he's won. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in that Campos car. Be trying to help out Sean as much as possible with 43 points. And a big piece of news from Sean's perspective, he is going to be replacing Navy in tomorrow night's mini league, and Mays will be filling in as a reserve if anybody does decide to is not going to make it tomorrow for mini league. And of course, do put in the chat if you are not going to be making it, and then Mays can fill in. And that is for the academy team. I think the main team is as it is. And I might say then at the end of the stream, as we go on board with Jeffrey to start. Interestingly, he's one of only 2 to go on a medium set of compound of tyres. Of course, there's 2 compound of tyres here, the softs and the mediums and Belgium. And Pedro and Siege currently lead the way on the run down towards Rouge and Radion at turns 3 and 4. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jeffrey will take this. Of course, you can take a flat out. The back end does kick out here. Jeffrey, not sure if he's invalidated actually. We'll go on board with Pedro then. Coming through, coming onto the Camel Straight, running up towards the Comet turn 5, the end of sector 1 to 32.9 through the first sector from Pedro. Of course, these cars are going to be around 12 or 13 seconds slower than the traditional F1 cars. That is just on average. They'll probably be about 15-16 seconds slower here in Belgium. But Pedro now coming through what was formerly No Name, it's now called X. So now coming through X is Pedro on the run down towards Pouon. And currently leading the way as it stands, Honey Badger, Afri, Siege all up there. Currently with Casper. Lyronix doing best the medium runners, only him and Jeffrey out on the set of mediums. Pedro now through Pouon, looking very nice. Honey Badger though just goes ahead of him for now. Pedro will have to come back as he comes in towards the final sector. Of course, the Spaniard trying to outdo the Dutchman of Honey Badger, and then the German of Afri just in behind. as we have had a disconnect, I do believe. Somebody's rejoining. That might be Uzi that's rejoining back. That possibly might be Uzi. As Pedro just runs wide there at Stavolo. Lyronix has retired from the session. Not sure if he's had an invalidation or spun it through Stavolo, possibly. Honey Badger, though, coming through Blanchimont through turn 17. Looking very nice indeed. Now the only corner to go is the bus stop chicane. Late on the bricks, Pedro nearly outbraking himself there. Honey Badger, I think, is going to be on pole position here as they come towards the line. Honey Badger is going to be miles clear of them. Coming across the line, it's Honey Badger with a 57.2. Very nice lap there. I did manage a 58 flat in a time trial lap, and that's what Casper and Siege have done respectively. Quite a few disqualifications coming through after invalidations, but it is Honey Badger who takes pole as we go into the feature race. It's 100% feature race. Not sure on the laps, but we'll tell you in a minute. As the Campos car of Honey Badger has taken pole position, of course, do not factor in those 4 points. They're just purely there as thingy. We are using the 25, 18, 15 system as in normal Formula 1. But Honey Badger on top, Afri second, Pedro third, with Casper and Siege filling out the top 5. Then it's Mays and Sean, the other only two who have managed to set a lap. Lyronix, Alan Kay, S. Graham, Maximus and Jeffrey not setting a lap. And I'm not sure who the disconnect was. I think it might have been S. Graham, to be honest. I'm not sure. I could be assuming things. We'll have a look when we come into the race, of course. But get yourselves prepared. Get your whatever your beverage is. Get it at the ready. Tea, coffee. Oh, and it's raining. And it's raining. And this is similar sort of conditions to what I had about half an hour ago. Where I live as well, so goodness me. Well, there you go. We are going to be having, as Uzi has joined back, sadly it's not good enough and he's going to have to, yeah, he's not going to be racing sadly. But it is going to be raining here in Belgium, which is going to be very interesting. Of course, rain has recently been added to another Formula 1 track. This is on GT Sport, but it has been added to the Red Bull Ring. If anybody does have GT Sport, go and try it out. It's a bit difficult at first, but you will get the hang of it. Whatever car you choose to go in, of course, as the only track that does have wet conditions there. But as we move into Belgium for the what I think is the final time here in TTL, in any sort of TTL races, of course we had, as the formation lap is about to begin, we've got 25 laps, which is more than the traditional 50% F1 distance. And yes, I can hear sound in the background, which is good to see, and everyone on the wet compound of tyres, the blue wall tyres, which means it's absolutely pissing down and the race might be called off. But hey ho, let's get on with the race that's going to unfold out on track. Goodness me. Yeah, but Uzi has left the session. He can't sadly race the Scotsman. Should be back next week. He can enjoy the race from a comfort of his own home as Pedro's gone off there. Goodness me, everyone sliding off at a Rouge and Radeon. Goodness me. Keep it calm, guys. Keep it calm. It's only the formation lap. You do not want to be taking that flat out. And I think now they've learned that lesson. They've really learned that lesson here tonight. I'm going to have a final check of the comment section, and obviously everyone on the same strategy, which is quite boring to be honest. They're on the wet compound of tyres. Yeah, there we go. I'm just having a look through. Fifi saying, come on Max, Germany is an awesome race. Spain hasn't had an interesting race this decade. Yeah, I totally agree on that. I think obviously we saw the big race at Hockenheim this season at those changeable conditions. I think if we have another race like that, but at Spain, it's not going to be any sort of difference at all. I think Germany should have been the track going forward onto the calendar and getting rid of Spain, and possibly having it as an F2 race, for example, like a support race, F2 race. But sadly, that's not the case, which is unfortunate. It's not the case, but I think, have they made the right decision by including Spain in for F1, for the F1 2020 calendar? It remains to be seen. It honestly does remain to be seen. But looking at recent races, I've got to have an opinion on it. I don't think it should have been the choice moving forward. I think they could have easily gone back to a circuit like Jerez I think Jerez has got the facilities there. They just need to build more grandstands and you're sorted. I think Jerez could have been a much better choice if they were to host the Spanish Grand Prix. Of course, historical significance within F1. As they get towards the end of the formation lap here, my top 3 for the win. With it being wet conditions, I'm going to go a bit of a... you might be thinking I'm going a bit doolally with this prediction. You can probably keep that to yourself, but my top 3, I'm going to go Honey Badger for the win. I am going to go for Lyronix for second, and for a bit of an outsider, I think Siege, championship leader, only in 5th place in qualifying. Of course, no white here, which means he will be gaining points regardless if he does come across the line, of course. And we have only got 12 drivers out on track. No, we've got 13 drivers out on track. We've got Uzi's car out on track, so I don't know how that has happened. We've got Uzi's car out on track. He's starting from the back anyways. He has sadly left the session, I do believe. And we should be getting going very shortly for 5 red lights here in the feature race. 5 red lights, about to go out here in Belgium. And it is, eventually, very long haul, lights out and away we go. And Honey Badger gets a very good start. Afri in behind, quite a few losing positions early. Jeffrey bogging down off the start in behind as Honey Badger's going to lose the lead around the outside of Afri. Afri around the outside of Honey Badger, and I think he might have the traction off turn 1. And it could be side by side down to Rouge and Radion. This is going to be very dangerous, but Afri's got the lead. Afri has got the lead. Bit of calamity in the background. Alan Kay, Jeffrey getting involved in something in the background, but Afri, Honey Badger go through, and it's side by side and behind as Honey Badger gets that inside line and gets back through. Afri, there's a yellow flag in sector 1. I think Sean has gone off. Mays and Sean have had a collision at the exit of Radion. But there is a yellow flag in sector 1, and that is what it's for. S. Graham, I think, has been involved in something as well further down the field, and I think that's why the yellow flags are out for. But Honey Badger has got the jump on Afri, and he maintains the lead after some very good battling. Casper's trying to go around the inside now. Pedro went behind. This is P3 and P4. Pedro's outran himself. It's going to be Casper, and it's going to be Siege up the inside as well. It's going to be very close now coming through X, as Siege is going to be ahead of Pedro. Very costly run out wide there from the Spaniard, and now he's been overtaken by Casper and Siege. 2 for 1 there for Casper and Siege, as Pedro's surely not going to go down the inside of Puon. Thing second of it, and oh, there's been a little bit of contact. He does try to go down the inside, and Pedro might have to give that position back. That's a little bit of an unsavoury move. Lyronix down in 6th, but you can tell how wet the conditions are here in Belgium. Driver's struggling, but it's Honey Badger that has got the lead. Of course, Afri was in front. Honey Badger got back around the inside of him. On the run down the Camel Straight and towards Lacombe, that's where he got it done, and Honey Badger currently leads the way. It's a second gap. He's beginning to pull out that gap nicely from Afri in 2nd. Casper in 3rd, having a much better race today, with Pedro in 4th, Siege in 5th, Lyronix in 6th, Maximus, Alan Kay. Uzi is all over the back of Alan Kay, and I do believe he is an AI car. He is an AI car, so Jeffrey's going to be on the back of that. In the meantime, what on earth's happened here? Honey Badger, has he mistaken himself at the final corner, and Afri's going to go back past him here, unless Honey Badger's made a mistake. We didn't see that. 2:26.4, that's how slow they're going on this first lap. Of course, it will get slightly quicker as Afri runs out wide at turn 1. Honey Badger nips up the inside and maintains that lead once again. So the Dutchman and the German now fighting it out, and surely it's not going to be side by side. It's going to be like Michael Schumacher, David Coulthard. No incidents happening down there, fortunately, as now Afri gets on the back end of Honey Badger. Looking behind, because Casper beginning to close up as well. Casper really going to have some say in this. The Finn, for CPI, he's having a great race so far. I think he likes the wet conditions better than the dry conditions. This was proven in the last 2 races for Casper. Unfortunate luck for Casper in the last 2 races. Of course, 5th, 10th and 6th those last 3 races. So looking all good at the minute, as Honey Badger leads 7/10 of a second. Afri in 2nd, Casper in 3rd, as they come through into X for the 2nd time. Maximus picks up a 3-second time penalty in behind. Jeffrey's got past Uzi as well, his AI car. But the battle for the lead is what we're going to focus on at this stage. It's Honey Badger who leads 6/10 of a second. Running out wide there a little bit, Afri. Casper in 3rd, a further 2nd behind, now gaining round, about the same possible times between Honey Badger and Afri and Casper. A little bit of a slide there from Afri in the background of shot. Casper trying to get a little bit closer as a result, about 8/10 off, and now once again the gaps just extend, and it's all equaling out here out in front as Honey Badger has got the pace and Afri hasn't really got the momentum to get anywhere near him at this moment in time. Casper in third, with Pedro in fourth. Siege not getting any closer to Pedro currently. It's 1.3 seconds. That gap has maintained itself for this lap certainly. So we're only on lap 2 out of 25. It's going to be a very long race if it's going to be wet for the next 23 laps. It's going to be a very long time. We're going to be sitting here until Christmas, I think, when the race finishes. But it's Honey Badger who leads. Afri second, Casper in third. As I say, Siege beginning to get closer as Casper has picked up a 3-second time penalty. That's a Blanchimon. That must have been on the outside of the corner coming through the exit of the exit of Blanchimon, and that's why I think Casper got that 3-second time penalty. He's down in third. Could be costly as it comes up towards the end of the race. Honey Badger sets the new fastest lap of the race with a 2:19.5. Looking impressive, setting that lap time. And at the end of lap 2. And of course no DRS going to be enabled because it is wet conditions. Honey Badger leads, Maffrey in second, Uzi's AI getting overtaken by Sean, and Sean has gone a mile off. Sean hopefully going to be having better luck tomorrow in the mini league than he is, and Jeffrey is also off as well. Jeffrey I think has had a moment out of the final corner. It is teaming down out on track here in Belgium. Mays as well has had a bit of a moment. Just losing that back end, the power just being lost there from some of the cars at the final corner. S-Grey makes it look quite easy, to be honest, as they come through like come on lap 3. And it is Honey Badger who leads, Afri second, Casper in third place at this moment in time. There are further thundery showers due. They're just out to the west of me currently. So if you do hear anything, then I'm going to start shut my curtains and everything like that, just to make sure that it is going to be, we're going to be fine. It is getting dark as well here in the UK. But Honey Badger leads the way. It's 2.6 seconds with Afri in second, Casper in third. Pedro in fourth has gained that time back on Siege. It's 1.9 seconds, and Siege runs massively out wide. Pedro runs massively out wide at Puon. Sean looking close to the back of Uzi once again. It's going to be a one-way street there, to be honest. But Siege starting to get a little bit closer now to the back of Pedro. Sean has gone past Uzi's AI car now. Out in front though, Honey Badger, 2.8 seconds, has got the pace early on and is really stamping his authority early on in this race. Afri in second, Casper in third. Afri just losing a little bit of time there, 3.3 seconds that's going to head out to, 3.4 seconds in fact. Honey Badger now beginning to floor it as Alan Kay has retired. That is through Stavilo, I think. Let's have a look at this. There he is on the left-hand side. It's just before Stavilo. I do apologise, there are no yellow flags out. There are yellow flags out. That's not coming up on my screen. There we go. So Alan Kay first out the race. I don't know how he's lost that. He's lost it obviously on the outside curb and he's spun. So Alan Kay the first casualty, but I think it's good for him because he can now watch the race. I didn't catch his instant, luckily, so he's not going to watch himself back there. But lap 4 out of 25, it is going very slow. Plenty of brollies up in the grandstand. It is very, very wet here at Spa-Francorchamps. Of course, Spa, the village that it's actually getting, the town that it's getting hosted as, also holds a laundry museum. I know, fun fact, it holds a laundry museum. That's about as much as I know about the town as possible. So, yeah, a little bit of a fun fact is that is Jeffrey going off at the final corner. Again, just flowing that power a little bit too much. Uzi's AI is into the pit, interestingly. Now, why his AI's in? It's on for another set of wet tyres, so if anybody is listening to the stream, it is on for a set of wet tyres, so don't even bother going out for another set of tyres. But Maze is struggling. Got S-Graham now on the back. I'm going to shut up as they come through a Rouge and rally on. This one's out wide. S-Graham will carry the momentum through. Of course, going flat there in the wet conditions is essentially writing your own name on your grave. It is quite literally impossible to get done there. But it's S-Graham trying to attack Maze now. Maze running out wide at Lecombe, and it's very difficult driving conditions, as I say. Siege is beginning to get a little bit closer to Pedro as well in the meantime for P4 and P5. But Esquim, this is the closest battle out on track. Maze has lost it. Oh, it's unfortunate contact. Maze loses the back end. Esquim is caught at the wrong place at the wrong time. 5-second penalty. Maybe just a little bit too harsh. I'll put that down as a racing incident, to be honest. Maze has spun the car and Esquim collected. It's an unfortunate bit of contact there from the two of them. And yeah, that's all we can really say about that. There's a three-way battle for third now started to develop. Casper losing time now to Pedro, and Pedro now losing time to Siege, and it's going to be quite interesting as Siege just catches the inside curve there at Blanchimont. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to even be running over the white lines here in Belgium. As they come on to lap 5, it is Honey Badger who leads, Afri in second. About 4.8 seconds that gap has really extended out quite a lot. Casper in third, Pedro in fourth, Siege in fifth. They're spread out like washing at the minute, and appropriately you don't want to hang out your washing in these conditions, but Honey Badger leading the way with a 5-second gap at this stage from Afri. Casper in third, Pedro fourth, Siege in fifth, and he's the one to watch out for. I think he's going to close up to Pedro. Pedro seems like he's been struggling, especially through that middle sector of Pouon, I would imagine, as Casper picks up a 3-second time penalty for just overshooting the curb at Radion there. And now Pedro gets a little bit closer, 0.1 of a second separating between him and Casper ahead. And just in the background of shot, you can just make out the trident of Afri. And the trident of Afri now coming under pressure as Sean is the first human into the pits. He's gone on for another set of wet tyres. They're not really lasting long. I think there wasn't a front wing change there either for Sean, so it's just purely for tyres, as Graham comes in for tyres as well. Uzi's AI is back in for tyres. Very strange. Mace is out. He's going to be out ahead of all of these guys. He's going to be flying down the straight. Sean is there. But back to the battle for second after we just getting caught on the inside curve there. Casper running out wide, and now Pedro, even wider in behind, begins to close back up at 0.6 of a second. Watch out for Siege in behind as well. Ironics 8.5 seconds down in P6 at this stage. My, let's just say my prediction not really coming to fruition at the minute. It's not really going that great, to be honest. But it's Honey Badger who leads, 6 seconds. But look at Pedro right on the back now of Casper, the Finn, coming under pressure from the Spaniard, and Pedro looking to make sure that this race is one he finishes and finishes well. So Pedro certainly going to be one of the ones to watch out for here tonight, as of course, looking back at his former race, he's right on the back now coming through Blanchimont. Pedro hasn't started the race. This is a debut race, remember. She's now attacking the back of Casper, who has had some unfortunate results. 10th place in Austria, I think. It's the worst result of the season. Honey Badger sets a new fastest lap to 2:18.3. You're going to be seeing, if it turns dry, you're going to be seeing 20 seconds a lap faster, I would imagine there. With Pedro now coming, trying to go around the outside of turn 1. Oh, this is going to be quite interesting. Could get the traction out the corner. He thinks about it, but doesn't get the traction out the corner. Now, Siege is on the back of this as well. Very difficult spray conditions. The rain is starting to ease up, I do believe, as they come through Rouge and Radion. There's Afri just ahead. Casper, Pedro carrying a little bit too much speed. No 3-second time belly being picked up. A little bit of a moment there from Casper. The Finn now under pressure as Pedro is going to launch it now around the outside of the Kemmel Straight. It's going to be side by side down until they come, and I think Pedro might just have this, you know. Casper very late on the brakes trying to hold the inside line, and he does. Casper holds that position very nicely. Good defensive driving from the Finn, but that is what Siege now into play, and Siege, with that championship lead to maintain, is wanting to get past these and get past them well. But it is Honey Badger who leads, Afri second, Casper in third. This three-way battle for third now heating up, with Pedro in fourth and Siege in fifth as they come through X once again at lap 6 out of 25. The rain, as I say, getting easier out on track, getting easier. I think that made sense. I hope it did anyways. It's starting to ease off, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah. But Casper, 4 seconds that gap to Afri. He's losing that time. A little bit of a moment there from Pedro. Siege carrying a much neater line through there, but not trying to go. And Pedro's gone out wide. Pedro runs out wide. He's similar to what we saw earlier on at Pouon and Siege. Walters on through. Won't say Matilda. It's Siege up to P4. Pedro making one too many mistakes. These wet conditions really starting to have an effect on the car, it seems. And Pedro making too many mistakes, and he's now down to 5th. Siege now can focus his attentions on Casper in the meantime. The Finn is a second clear of him at this stage. Gap for the lead is over 7 seconds now. It is 7 seconds between Honey Badger and Afri in 1st and 2nd at this stage, and looking good at this moment in time. I will interact with the comments section now as we come through the bus stop chicane once again. Again, Siege just running a little bit wide, not too much. Can't hear a thing due to work computer, but I know James is doing a sterling job. I am doing a sterling job. You could call me a Sterling Moss job, to be honest, but there you go. Pedro right on the back of Siege, and Casper taking a wide out line, trying to get that traction down from turn 1, now down towards turn 2, and Siege half that gap. But now, with that traction, Siege will now lose that time to Casper, and Casper looking good for 3rd place up this stage with Siege in 4th, Pedro in 5th. Pedro again just run a little bit wide, and Siege just run a little bit wide. It was so slow out of a Rouge and Marion, and it's going to be easy pickings for Pedro. And Pedro is through, and he's not even down at Lacombe yet. Pedro is through, and he's up to P4. Again, mistakes to be made. Mistakes around here can be very costly, especially in these conditions. Looks like the rain is stopping out on track, as I say. Honey Badger out in front by 8.2 seconds from Afri in 2nd, who is now pulling away from Casper, but trying to maintain that gap, I think, Casper, the Finn, on the back of the German. We're only on lap 7 out of 25, and honestly, there's been quite a lot of action going on so far. Don't tune out, because you'll be foolish too. You'll be absolutely foolish to tune out, and you're going to see possibly an outside move here from Siege. Run the outside of Pouon, surely not. No, he doesn't commit it. Luckily, he doesn't commit it. Could get on the outside of Pouon though. Getting the traction off the corner. Pedro just maintaining a little bit more speed through there. Of course, we can't really see what speeds they were taking as to now go down to around 70 miles an hour to come towards the end of Sector 2 and through towards the Stavilo section, which starts off Sector 3. But Honey Badger out in front, Sean right on the back of Jeffrey in the meantime. This is on the Camel Straight, and well behind the leader, but Jeffrey and Sean about to do battle. And Sean now looking to go around the outside. Of course, it is the MP Motorsport against the Campos, and the Campos now looks for the switchback, and that is perfection move from Sean. Jeffrey again, just overcooking it slightly. Fresher tyres, and Sean makes that look very easy. So the Campos is now ahead of the MP. Sean up to 8th as S. Graham has retired. I'm not sure if that was done in the pit lane. Be interesting to see. Uzi's AI is in again. Not sure what's happening with that, but there you go. Yep, so S. Graham out the race. Unfortunate for the Scotsman, but that does mean, apart from Uzi's AI going around, everyone, if you're still going to be running towards the end of the race, you are going to be picking up points, which is very crucial indeed. You're going to be picking up points, which I think is the best possible thing. James, the 6 weather slots were 2 rain moving to 2 light rain to 2 dry slots. Interesting, so we should get dry racing then towards the end of the race, and it looks like light rain happening as Pedro was off. Oh my god, taking a Tokyo drift through a Rouge and Radion. My god, what a recovery that is. How on earth he did not end up in that wall is absolutely beyond me. Pedro going Spanish rallying there, goodness me. He holds on, he's still on the back of Casper and Siege, and now this is all kicking off in front, with the Finn now coming under attack from the Brit. But what a stylish piece of driving that was. If there was points being given for style driving and style points, I think Pedro will get a 10 out of 10 from me, but there you go. Siege, then, right on the back of Casper. We'll cut him behind as well, because there is Pedro right on the back of this as well, as it is beginning to cloud over and get dark here in the beautiful UK, as Casper now under pressure, and Casper running out wide of the AstroTurf a little bit. The rain coming down a little bit heavier now, in fact, so maybe that heavy weather slot beginning to come in again. Pedro on the back of this, Casper defending. Very difficult to see with the spray from a TV pod point of view, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys are coping, especially if they're using the cockpit cam as Casper runs out wide. So now come towards Stavilo, and it is looking good from Casper's perspective, but he has got to fight off the attentions now of Siege and Pedro. The Sun trying to break through here in Belgium. One lap 8 out of 25, and Honey Badger has got an 11-second lead on Afri, who has pulled again about another 3 seconds clear of Casper, who's now battling out with Siege. They come through Blanchimont, you can see the spray being kicked up. Casper and Siege running to Badger, new fastest lap of the race. A lot of lag now going on. I'm not sure if that's coming up on my end. I think it might be, as Pedro's trying to go down the inside of the bus stop chicane. Not quite, 3-second time barely being picked up. I've just moved my console a little bit, and Pedro's going to get the switchback on him. So Pedro's got the switchback on Siege. I was moving my PS4 in the meantime. I did see that move, and Pedro was through, and he's up to P4, and he's going to defend the inside line now down into turn 1. Siege will try and get the switch back, but the traction off the corner favouring the Spaniard, and the Spaniard pulls away. So Pedro clear now of Siege as they run through a Rouge and Marion once again. Honey Badger out in front by 11.3 seconds, Mafri in second, Casper in third as they get through nicely. Siege just taking that a little bit too cautiously for my liking, losing a little bit of time to Pedro, but you've got to be cautious, you've got to be in it to win it, and Siege is certainly trying to do that. He's thinking more of his championship than a battle for third place at this moment in time, of course. Pedro now getting on the back of Casper, who just overruns the curb slightly. I think he miscooked that a little bit at Lacombe, onto the entrance of Lacombe there. And now Casper under pressure from the Spaniard once again. As I say, Sun trying to break through here in Belgium, of course. We're at Spa-Francorchamps, 19 corners away at the drivers, of course 25 laps. You can probably tell how many corners they're going to be competing around. I don't want to hear the answer either. Should have looked it up beforehand, but there you go. Casper now trying to defend the attentions of Pedro and Siege. That, by the way, is Lyronix in behind. Lyronix 8.3 seconds off. He has dropped the time a little bit. The German, I think, is trying to hold on out there, to be honest. The dry conditions will favour him more than the wet conditions. And it is really interesting to see who adapts to the wet nicely and who adapts to the dries. And I think Honey Badger's a bit of both. He adapts to the wet really nicely, as was proven out in front, much quicker than everyone else out on track, proven by the fastest lap as well. But when it comes to the dry compound of tyres, who is going to be out on top? And I think, just looking at it, Lyronix could be right up there. I think Asprey could be right up there when it starts turning dry. As we are not even at the halfway stage, we're only about a third of the way through here. Oh! Oh, what a recovery, Casper! Oh my god! See that in the front, as short as Pedro now. Casper just moving across his line slightly, 10-second time penalty for Pedro. He's taken off the line. He rejoins in a safe manner, and Siege is now ahead. Not sure what happened there. Casper did lose it on the outside, on the curb at Blanchimont. Recovered it, could have easily went into the wall, but that again is one hell of a recovery from the Finn. Similar to what we saw with Pedro with a Rouge a couple of laps ago, and Casper recovers that car well. He's lost a little bit of time. Pedro, 10-second time penalty. Did he just completely misjudge himself? But it remains to be seen as Casper again lose control of the car. Pedro in the background losing control. He's all over the back now of Siege, taking that out of line as he now comes down the inside at Kemmel Straight, on the Kemmel Straight, and Pedro is through and he's back up to P4. Siege doesn't want to fight that. Pedro through and he's up to P4, but Casper now just beginning to edge out a little bit of a gap now as a result. Two slightly hairy moments there from the Finn, and if you are a supporter of the Finn, I'd be counting your lucky chickens. I would really be counting your lucky chickens at this stage. But Honey Badger leads, 12.8 seconds. Can't take it away from the Dutchman. He's out in front. He's doing a sterling job out in front. Afri in second, Casper in third, Pedro in fourth, and Siege in fifth. This has just been a real constant battle between these three throughout. The yo-yo effect, as I like to call it, now happening. Pedro taking a much deeper line through there. Pedro taking a much wider line out there. Siege taking a much deeper line and just gains him that little bit of time now. Siege, the Brit, on the back of the Spaniard. He has overrun himself there before, but not this time. Just gets caught on the curb slightly. Now Siege could be eyeing up a move here. So come into Stavilo once again. And lap 10 out of 25 again. Not even through halfway yet. But hopefully everyone enjoying the action so far out on track. Let's have a look and see some of the comments section. Jeff is telling the drivers to switch to inters when there is not inters available for the car. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, that. That's a bit of a failure on Codemaster's end, I think. As everyone is through Blanchimont safely, and Honey had a tank slapper up Radion, apparently. Honey Badger had a tank slapper up Radion. I didn't catch that. I've been focusing on this battle. Siege comes into the pits. So Siege is into the pits. Nobody responds in front of him. So Casper and Pedro go out on for another lap. And Siege is in. And if I am seeing it right, it's pretty much stopped raining out on track. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Siege does here. I think it'll be for another set of wets. Don't get me wrong. It's another set of wet compound of tyres for Siege. As he pits in, as Mays is retired, and that I think might have been in the pit lane. I'm not sure. We'll have a ride on board with Siege. I'm not sure if that was done in the pit lane or if that was done just coming out of the pits, because I did see him come in. As Pedro now has gone past Casper. Casper very slow out of Rouge and Radion. They're going side by side through like calm, and Pedro holds on. Pedro gets that move done. He's up to P3. Casper just sliding that back end. Ooh, another little moment there from the Finn. I didn't catch on board, sadly, what happened with Mays. Hopefully we will see a comment from him in the comment section very shortly indeed. As we approach 25 to 9 here in the UK. You're tuned in to TTL F2. It is lap 11 out of 25. Honey Badger leads from Afri in second, Pedro in third, Casper in fourth. And if you're wondering who I am, I'm James tonight. No Kieran McGinley tonight because he's at a work stew and probably getting off his face with plenty of drink. Hopefully he might be sticking to the cokes rather than the alcohol. But who can blame him if he sticks to the alcohol, honestly. Casper on the back of Pedro though in the meantime. 6 tenths per second. Jeffrey is Maximus, I think, has just came out ahead of Jeffrey here. Yeah, Maximus has just came out ahead of Jeffrey. He's been going around on there for 10 laps, struggling like he is. Maximus now coming through a Rouge and Radion. Coming through there nicely, Maximus. With the cold tyres. Honey Badger again sets the new fastest lap of the race. Betters and the first lap time I think into the 2:16s here tonight. So 2:17 point odd was the time I think from Honey Badger last time up, and it's 2:16.9 this time around. So Honey Badger, and we'll have a look on board with the fastest lap actually there. 2:16.9. He's well clear of everyone else in terms of fastest laps. 2:18.6, 2:18.6 I can see from Lyronics, who was just set that I think. Lyronics just beginning to come back. Plenty of comments coming through. I think that is Warren in the comment section just coming in there and having a chat with the guys. Good to see Warren. Of course he'll be making his academy debut in Mini League tomorrow night. Don't expect nothing less than a win from you. Let's have a look. When you don't check the weather, says Mays. And when you don't check your mirrors, says Casper, because here comes Casper on the back of Pedro. Pedro's got to check his mirrors here, because Casper trying to go around the outside here at Lacombe. He's got the inside line. He's trying to hold on. They're still side by side, very close to contact there. Casper just overrunning himself slightly, and now losing that back end, controlling it nicely. Pedro again hangs on though, the Spaniard, having every trick in the boot to try and fend off Casper at this stage. Pedro now is still ahead and he's still in P3. Wow, what? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. But Pedro leading the way in third place here. Casper right on the back from there. Again, this has just been pretty constant from the get-go here in TTL F2. Of course, been very interesting racing happening so far out on track, and Casper now 7 tenths off Pedro, who's just trying to liven himself up a little bit. And looking at the moment, at this moment in time anyways, it looks as if Honey Badger will be leading this race for quite a long time to come. He's got 16.1 seconds to Afri in second. Good showing actually from both Afri and by Pedro. The two Tridents doing very well. They're up to second and third. That's going to be helping them in a big battle for the team standings. Of course, I think it's something like 6 teams separated by 9 points from 4th down to 9th. Pretty sure. If I read the standings earlier on. Lyronics is beginning to hunt round in the background though. 4.3 seconds. One of these guys are starting to come into the pits. We are now through halfway as Lyronics now sort of runs himself a bus stop. But we are through halfway. It is Honey Badger who leads. Afri in second. That is Jeffrey getting out of the way of the leader. Honey Badger is through. And he's up into the lead of the race. And he's holding that lead Very, very nicely indeed. 16.6 seconds after he in second, running on his lonesome, but doing well for Trident. Pedro in third, Casper in fourth. Pedro looking good again, just running himself wide. Not as wide as what we seen a couple of laps ago. Casper again just running a little bit wide in the background of shot. Not getting any closer here. The Finn actually losing time, and it looks like Lyronix could be coming into this very shortly indeed. As he now approaches the breaking point at Les Combes. But it's Honey Badger who leads, Afri second, Pedro in third, Casper in fourth, Lyronix in fifth, Siege in sixth, Shaw in seventh, Maximus eighth, and Jeffrey in ninth. You're currently on board though with Casper, who is losing that time now to Pedro, and the Spaniard doing a good job to fend off the attention to the Finn. And it's going to be very interesting come the end of the race how this is going to pan out. I think Pedro should have the momentum. He is beginning to gain that time now, and Casper just trying to hold him nicely. It is going to be very interesting to see, of course, how this is going to pan out. But at this moment in time, it looks like... Oh, Casper's lost it! Casper's lost it! Oh, he's into the wall! He's recovered it! He's in the wall and he's out the race! Losing it on the exit of P1. That is a barrier and a half. They're going to have to replace that barrier. Casper has spun. I was too busy looking down at my iPad to see what happened. I'm going to have a look back and see what happened there with Casper. It is very interesting to see what happened there. I didn't totally catch that. I wasn't on board with it 100%. What on earth happened there? Right, I'm on board with it now. So Casper runs wide. He runs wide at P1, but it just seems, yeah, he just seems to sort of lose it on the curb. Looking, yeah, he runs wide at P1, looking through. Oh, he's lost the back end coming through P1 and it's not recoverable. He loses the back end, damages his rear wing in the process, and he's out the race. Unfortunate for Casper, and that does ruin his chances of potentially getting a podium here tonight in TTL F2. It's unfortunate for the Finn. Hopefully he'll come back stronger next week. That means actually he won't be finishing outside the points, because Uzi, if he does rejoin Uzi by the way, he will be getting a point as a result. Siege sets a new fastest lap of the race in the meantime with a 2:16.6 in the Carling car. There's absolutely nothing happening out on track really. Blue Skies trying to poke through, light rain beginning to come down once again here out on track. But it is Honey Badger who leads that way with 17.1 seconds to Afri, and the German driver doing a nice job. That, by the way, is Uzi's AIM behind. That is not Lyronix. Pedro in third. He's just out of Les Combes and down towards X, or formerly known as No Name, of course. And there is Lyronix in behind. With Siege now in fifth. Siege is the only real one of the front runners that is pit. And looking at the leaders' timings, looking at the gap between Pedro and Siege, that's going to be about 21 seconds. Pit lane is quite short here in Belgium. Of course, it does cut off around a second if you come out of the pit lane as opposed to going around on a full lap. It does cut off a second if you're coming out of the pit, so just bear that in mind. But keep on looking at the gaps, because it's going to be quite interesting. That gap is around 20 seconds now, so Siege beginning to put the hammer down. There's the fastest lap. Siege and Honey Badger, only two drivers managing the 2:16s at the moment in time. I think it is going to turn dry before the end of this race, as we have had on the weather forecast. Let's see in the meantime who has gained the most positions out of tonight as Honey Badger responds, and that is only by a couple of thousandths, I think. Looking at it, yeah, 300th of a second Honey Badger has beaten Siege by. Siege is going to try and respond now on this lap. He's 8 tenths up, so Siege has definitely responded. Maximus has crashed out. Maximus is out the race. Where has that happened? Again, there's no yellow flags coming up. I do apologise for going on pause and see whether it's happened. I have a feeling that has happened up a Rouge. Let's try and board Afri. Let's see where we can pinpoint. Let's see if we can pinpoint where it's happening. Yep, yellow flags ahead, so I think he must be in the wall on the right hand side, I would imagine. Green flags are out, and I can't see any damaged cars, but he was there. He must have been there at the top of the hill. Siege responds, 2:16.4, so he responds. There's going to be a battle between Honey Badger and Siege for this fastest lap. In the meantime, though, Pedro is getting Just closed down now by Lyronix, and the German driver beginning to hunt down. He might have DRS coming up because the rain is now beginning to stop. But, of course, it is still wet conditions. But Lyronix just getting a little bit closer. It's now 3.7 seconds. At the start of this lap, I think it was about 4 seconds. So Lyronix closing in around 0.3 of a second. He will have his teammate of sorts to help. Of course, that AI car still going around Avuzi. He's been into the pits so many times here tonight that I couldn't even count up how many pit stops he's actually made, to be honest. Pit 1 is a tricky one at the best of times. Was looking decent till then. Positives, mate. Yeah, Casper. They are falling like flies, says Andy. They are definitely falling like flies. The conditions taking its toll. It is due to get drier. I think everyone was probably hoping for the dry spell at the beginning of the race and the wet spell at the end of the race so they could actually try and manage themselves. But there you go. In the meantime, the Lyronix has really upped the tempo here, and the German begins to close in on the Spaniard. The rain's still falling here at Spa-Francorchamps. It is lap 15 out of 25. About to go on to lap 16 with Honey Badger leading the way. 20.5 seconds now, that gap. And Honey Badger dominating out in front. You can probably suggest who your driver of the day is going to go to, because I think this guy is probably going to get driver of the day, and I can even probably say that about 10 laps out. But there you go. I think it'll be interesting to see, though, how Lyronix is going to play out. Looking at the position changes, Jeffrey is getting 5, Lyronix is getting 4, Sean is getting 1, and Uzi there is also getting 4. Looking at that, of course, DRS has been enabled. So DRS enabled, and now the first drivers come into the pit. So Pedro and Lyronix are in. What do they go for? Do they go for a set of softs or a set of medium compound of tyres? And Andy pulling out, as long as they cross the line, they should be getting the points. That's totally right. They should be getting the points indeed. But we've got our first pit stop. So Pedro is in. He is in for a white wall set of tyres. That is a medium compound of tyres for Pedro. And for Lyronix, it's a soft compound of tyre. And Uzi's been held up in the pits there as well. So very interesting strategy choices between Lyronix and Pedro. Medium compound of tyres for the Spaniard. The soft compound of tyre for the German. Siege comes in, the current championship leader. He's going to go on for a set of softs. Maybe mediums will work at a better temperature. That's what Pedro was thinking. It's not a bad thing to do, actually. It's not going to win him the race, I don't think. Well, it certainly won't win him the race. As Lyronix has just gone off track there on a set of softs, so I think mediums could be the better tyre to work here. Mediums could be the better tyre to work. So he just came out on a set of softs. Let's see how he copes with Erosion Radion. Let's have a look through there. Yeah, just takes it a bit on the cautious side, but not too bad. As they begin to close in, and it is Honey Badger who leads, as I say, 20.8 seconds, that gap. Afri second, those two will be coming in. Sean is next. Oh my god. Sean next one into the pits, nearly crashes it in the pits as well, spinning it on the wet compound of tyres. The dry slots now starting to happen. Sean is in, that's a set of soft compound of tyres for Sean. Looks like the leader's coming in behind as well, yeah. Just in the back of shot, we saw a car coming into the pit. That is the leader, that is Honey Badger. Don't want to pick up a 5 second time penalty to be added onto the time. 5 second stop go to be added onto the time. But Honey Badger is out. Of course, his pit stop, his teammate has just came into the pit in front of him. Medium compound of tyres for Honey Badger as well. Afri is in. So let's see, 37.1 seconds. I think Afri is going to have a big gap over Pedro as they come out towards the pits. I think it's going to be a massive, massive gap. But it's Honey Badger who leads, 21.7 seconds on the exit of the pits. There's Afri just coming in. I think that gap will be reduced. Honey Badger just overruns himself slightly on the exit, but not too bad. Medium compound of tyres for Afri as well. Lyronix 2.5 seconds off Pedro. It's going to be interesting to see how that gap pans out. There is Pedro coming through bus stop. There is Afri coming out the pit lane, and it is going to be a one-way traffic as the German is going to now get out ahead of the Spaniard. So Afri is out and he's ahead, and he's in to P2 once again as Pedro just overruns himself slightly at turn 1. Lyronix. Oh, I don't believe it. Pedro spun it. Pedro spun it. He's floored the power down on the exit. He resets to track. Apologies about that. Pedro just losing it slightly and crashing into the wall, just dropping at the back end, dropping it. It's a shame. It's a real shame that has happened. But we continue on. Pedro now in 4th, Siege in 5th. It is absolutely boiling at the moment, at this moment in time. It's absolutely boiling here where I'm commentating. I wish we could have some cooler air come through right at this moment in time. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it's not looking good at this stage in terms of the amount of finishes. We're only going to get 7 finishes, I think, out of this race. If everyone still stays as they are. Honey Badger though leads the way. It's 21.2 seconds from Afri in 2nd, Ironics in 3rd. Then it is Pedro in 4th and Siege filling out that top 5 place at this moment in time. And we'll see how it's all going to pan out, as Honey Badger should be winning this, and he is winning this, of course. Afri trying to close in. He's got lap pressure tyres. It's not going to be enough though. Lyronics in 3rd, Pedro in 4th, Siege in 5th. As we have got 7 laps to go, including, well, 8 laps to go, including this one. It's Honey Badger who leads, Afri in 2nd, Lyronics in 3rd, with Pedro in 4th and Siege in 5th place. There's only so much I can commentate on, really. Lyronics sets the new fastest start of the race. They'll just tumble down over the next couple of laps or so. Let's have a look at the comments section though in the meantime. Let's have a look. I wonder how heartbreaking it is for the drivers to get to lap 7 and realise it's been 30 minutes already. Yeah, it's probably around 20-25 minutes, to be honest. Anywhere between that, I think, for the tyres. For the laps even around here. Of course, it is more than a 50% race. There's more than a 50% race. But Honey Badger leads the way. It's Afri in 2nd, Lyronics in 3rd, Pedro in 4th. Siege has he made a mistake? No. Why has he made a mistake? I'm not sure. He might have totally missed that. Has he got left side end plate damage? No. Oh yeah, no, he does. He does have left side end plate damage. I thought I saw end plate damage. The Siege has obviously had a spin somewhere. I didn't catch on board where that happened. If anybody is watching in the comment section this race, please do tell me where that was. But Siege has lost that time. It was around 5 seconds, I think, to Pedro. So Siege has lost it. He's got a minute to Sean, so you can easily come into the pit and put on a set of softs and go for that fastest lap and just come out with 5th place. Of course, he's not going to be losing much in terms of the tyres either. But Honey Badger leads the way. We now have 7 laps to go. It's a very long, enduring race, especially in this heat. It's a very long, enduring race, this. Hopefully everyone is staying nice and cool. I will certainly be keeping nice and cool. I'll go down, get a drink after this, and probably get rid of my sweat. But there you go. There you go. In the meantime, Honey Badger leads 21.7 seconds as he's about to come through through Le Com. I was going to say through Stadler there. If he got to there and all of that, then goodness me. Afri picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's on the extra radion. So Afri has picked up that. Lyronics is in 3rd. Pedro in 4th. Siege, not predictably coming into the pits. He just did overpower it slightly there from Siege. Siege nearly doing a Sean, I think it was, when he came into the pits. Siege is going to be well out ahead of Sean. So, with Honey Badger coming into the pits, Afri is going to be coming in. Yep, so Siege is in. He's into the pits. That coming past him is Jeffrey trying to chase down Uzi's AI and trying to lap him in the meantime. Jeffrey's picked up a 3-second time penalty at turn 1, I think that was. So Siege out of the pits. There is Sean. He's only through Blanchimont. And Siege is going to be around 15 seconds ahead when he comes out of the pits. Maybe even more than that. By the way, if you are wanting to tune into something after us, round Belgium, The F1 Esports Challenger Series race is on, and I do believe it is for the PC as well. So it is for the PC. So if you do want to watch that, go and watch that after this race. Don't do it now, because our viewing figures will go down and I'll end up crying myself to sleep tonight. But I'll certainly be watching that after this race. So tune in to see Sonic Saltunk and those guys do battle, who have qualified for the Challenger Series. Of course, it'll be interesting to see if anybody these guys get to the Challenger Series. I think it's a bit more wishful thinking than meets the eye, to be honest. But you never know what could happen. 6 laps to go. Honey Badger leads. Vaffrey in second. 0.4 of a second up. Personal best being set galore. The lap times, lap timing screens are probably going green, green, green. Go, 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 I think, is probably what the personal best lap time boards are being set as. But at this moment in time, it's Honey Badger who leads the way, and he's got a massive margin. 21.6 seconds to Affrey. Ironic has picked up a 3-second time penalty. That's actually a good point. I'll pick up now on the penalty scenario. Honey Badger has got a penalty. I think Affrey's got one as well. Yep, Affrey's got a penalty. Got Lyronix on a penalty. He's just picked that up. Pedro is on 4 penalties and plenty of warnings. Siege is on 2 warnings. The first one really to keep it clean. 10-second time penalty for Sean. Not sure what's happened there with Sean. Jeffrey with a 5-second time penalty and a 3-second time penalty as well. And Uzi's AI, well, look at his pit stops. He's been for 7 pit stops, is Uzi. His AI car, he's running around in it. Of course, he won't be joining back, so that means he won't be getting those points. Those valuable points at the end of the day. But it is Honey Badger who leads. We're about to start the last 5 laps of the race. Honey Badger leading, coming across the line. First one into the 59.8, set there by Honey Badger. And it's 22.2 seconds, and that gap is extended out very nicely indeed. With Affrey in second, Lyronix in third, Pedro in fourth. Lyronix now ahead of Pedro after that spin, of course. And he's just coming through Blanchimont. Lyronix just coming through bus stop. Sun is now getting out here in Belgium, which is good to see because we start off this race absolutely soaked. Absolutely soaked, and that is including me in the commentary box as well. So absolutely soaked coming into this, but there we go. Honey Badger leading the way as they come towards the final 5 laps of this race. But going to be interesting to see how this is all going to pan out. And I think really you could be seeing the order as it is, to be honest. Honey Badger, Affrey, Lyronix, Pedro. Taking it nice and flat out there, Honey Badger. Gaining that time. He's got the speed over Affrey. He's got the time. Of course, we had that little bit of a battle in the first 2 laps between them. But nothing major other than that to report. And Honey Badger's hanging on out of there. Ooh, just makes a slight mistake. Some mistake. First resemblance of any sort of mistake that I've seen out on track. I think Alan Kay did pick up early on that he had a moment of ratty on. But Honey Badger, it's the first time I've seen him make any sort of mistake. And he doesn't want to lose it now. He does not want to lose it. 23.1 seconds in front of the race, because I don't think he can live with himself if he spins it or anything like that. Keep it nice and calm with 4 laps to go with Honey Badger who leads. 22.4 seconds. That gap has reduced as a result of that mistake. It's reduced by about 0.8 of a second as well, so that was a notable error from Honey Badger. But with his pace, he's just purely, absolutely thrashing them out on track in terms of the pace, and it is looking really stunning, to be honest, from Honey Badger and Affrey as they fill out the first 2 positions with Lyronix in third, Pedro in fourth, Siege, Sean, Jeffrey, and that is your top 7 really. That is how it should be until the end of this race, I would imagine. But as we come in towards the final couple of laps, Who is your driver of the day? Vote in the comment section, vote in the chat who is going to be your driver of the day. I will announce mine, of course, at the end of this race. It will be interesting to see how this is all going to pan out indeed, but it is Honey Badger who leads the way. I may just say, by the way, that we have got another potential thunderstorm coming towards us where I live. Hopefully nothing going to be happening as a result, but there you go. If you're in Humber, you're going to have a very noisy night. Honey Badger, though, in the meantime, 22.8 seconds out in front. Afri in second. Ironix has dropped that gap now down to under 10 seconds. With Pedro in fourth. Of course, losing it at the first corner. With foggy conditions actually coming through. We're about to start the final 3 laps. And I think everyone probably watching has yawned or got anything going for them. Sean has picked up a 10-second time penalty for extending the track limits, and he is just ahead of his teammate here actually. Honey Badger. Beautiful blue skies now. 59.5 for Honey Badger coming across the line. Again, a new fastest lap for him. He's got his teammate Sean ahead of him. And Sean maintaining that 6th place. He could come into the pits and just try and go for fastest lap, to be honest. But looking good at this stage between Honey Badger, for the Campos team. That, of course, is Honey Badger and Sean. Looks like out of the points, don't get me wrong on this, looking at my calculations anyways, I think Campos are going to outscore Trident here by 3 points. Not sure if that'll make anything sort of difference. I'll have a check in the have a check on the standings now. Campos in second on 90, Trident in joint 7th on 45. So yeah, it's going to be beneficial as Sean is going to let through his teammate. Sean lets through his teammate. Nice sportsmanship shown there. As Honey Badger now approaches the final 2.5 laps. Coming through Puon for probably what is one of the final times out on track. But Honey Badger leading the way. 23 seconds that gap to Afri, of course. Honey Badger, where are you coming through now? Where are you coming through now? This is where we made his mistake last time out at Stavolo. See if he makes any sort of similar sort of mistake. Nope, perfectly there. Absolutely perfectly there. Just getting caught a little bit wide on the epic. He doesn't want to be doing that. He doesn't want to be throwing himself any further problems that could unfold. But there's Honey Badger who leads. Afri second and Ironics in third. And yeah, it's Honey Badger who leads. We're about to start the final 2 laps here in Belgium at Spa. Honey Badger leads. See, he just picked up a 30-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. Guessing that might have been done up a Rouge. Yeah, that might have been done up a Rouge there. Honey Badger is approaching that section now. The sun beaming down now. Yeah, the sun is beaming down. It was like this morning really in the UK. The sun was beaming down. I was in my bedroom stuck there. And yeah. There you go, you can't have things your own way now, can you? Absolutely terrible. But in the meantime, Honey Badger leading the way. And that gap is extending out further. 22.8 seconds from Afri in second. Ironics now has just dropped that gap out again to over 10 seconds. I do apologise about that. I really do apologise about that. I'm not tired because of commentary. I'm just tired in general, really. But Ironics, 11 seconds now. He's losing that time. Those softs wearing off quite quickly here around Belgium. Of course, with the dry conditions now. Honey Badger through Puon for the final time, for the penultimate time, as he's about to come through and score what is going to be a second win of the season, barring any mishaps. And I hope he doesn't have a mishap for the sake of the 2 or 3 viewers that are watching this race. I hope he doesn't have a mishap, because I'll just be really unfortunate if he does. We don't want that to happen at all. But, of course, who is your driver of the day? Vote in the comment section, in your droves. So come on to the final lap. Who is your driver of the day? And I'll announce mine, of course, at the end. 59.3 from Honey Badger, getting a new fastest lap. Those mediums working at a much better temperature compared to the softs at this stage. Afri? What on earth has happened to Afri? What on earth? The two Germans now, they're going to have a battle. I think they must be in a party together because Lyronix is up the inside of Blanchimon. That couldn't have been a mistake from Afri. That was a pure weight up, I think. He couldn't have lost. He couldn't have lost 22. He couldn't have lost 12 seconds pretty much to Lyronix. Let me have a look. He must have waited up for him. He must. But final lap battle, thank God. Been bored, pretty much. Yeah, so Afri, I think, has stopped it out on track. He has waited up for him. I do believe he has waited up for him. We're going to get side-by-side action. No. No, 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 no. Afri up the inside of Lyronix and the Rouge and Marion. They're off track. Never going to end well, that. But still, it's action anyways. As now Lyronix tries to pull back into the slipstream and Lyronix gives a bit of a wave out on track, and I don't blame him for doing that, to be honest. Honey Badger, in the meantime, is coming through towards Stavolo for the final time. Afri and Lyronix are only through Lecombe on the run down towards X. Let's focus then. Let's continue to focus on the battle for second and third between Afri and Lyronix. Of course, these guys do have time penalties to bear, and I think as a result, I think Afri is going to be getting second place. We'll go back on board with Honey Badger though in the meantime. Very shortly, he's just coming through Blanchimon, I think that was. Yeah, he's just through Blanchimon, so he is on the run now down towards the bus stop chicane. Afri and Lyronix not close enough. It's going to be Honey Badger to take it here in Belgium. Round the final corner, every race he's started, he's won. Honey Badger across the line, a dominant victory. He is my driver of the day. Honey Badger takes it with an easy win. Sean better come across the line in 6th, by the way, as well. He's going to come across the line in 6th. Afri and Lyronix, 6/10 of a second. Medium against softs, and I think Afri has got the pace over Lyronix here. They come through Blanchimon for the final time. Very rare battle for second that we wouldn't been expecting. I think Afri, as I say, probably would have waited up for Lyronix. These two, of course, very good friends in social worlds. Lyronix just tries to go for a bit of a dive bomb move there, as Afri is going to hold him off, and Afri will be coming across the line to finish in second. Lyronix in third. Both of them had the same amount of time penalty, so it could have been a different story next lap around. Pedro, very unfortunate spin at turn 1. I think he was looking good for third. He is going to end up with 4th at the end of the day. So he's going to be coming across the line now. I think we've got Jeffrey coming through the middle sector. Siege is ahead of him out on track. So the wait begins now for these two to come round. Siege and Jeffrey. They shall get round before the timer ticks away. 2-0. So Siege will be coming across the line very soon. He's round Stavolo for the final time. So he's through Stavolo. The Siege is coming through Blanchimon. Jeffrey is just at Stavolo now. So we're going to be waiting a little bit of a time for those. But Siege is through Blanchimon safely. He's going to be coming across the line in 5th as long as he doesn't spin out the final corner. Championship leader has extended his championship lead, I do believe, here as well. So Siege across the line to finish in 5th. Waiting game now for Jeffrey. He's through Blanchimon for the final time. As long as he doesn't mess it up after bus stop on the power, then he's going to be coming across the line in 7th. Jeffrey round the final corner at bus stop. Don't drop it here. He's going to course it across the line, and Jeffrey is going to be finishing in 7th place, and that's the end of the Belgian Grand Prix here for TTL F2. And what a race, as Honey Badger takes a very dominant win out on track. As we now go to the podium celebrations, it is Honey Badger, of course, who will be stepping up onto the top step of the podium. A very dominant win from the Dutchman. And he takes it with Afri second, Lyronix in third. It is a Dutch first and a German second and third there for the three on the top steps of the podium. But we are about to see the final running order. It is Honey Badger who takes it here from Afri in second, Ironics in third. Honey Badger getting for my drive of the day at the end of the day. Afri second, Ironics in third, Pedro in fourth with a 25 seconds worth of time penalties. Goodness me. Siege in fifth, Sean in sixth, Jeffrey in seventh, Uzi's AI in eighth. Of course, he gets diddly squashed because it wasn't him that was finishing, it was his AI car. Maximus and Casper would have been filling out the top 10 as well, but they didn't finish. Maze, S. Graham and Alan Kale were at the race as well, as Honey Badger gets my driver of the day. He'll be signing off from commentary very shortly indeed. Of course, schedule for this week, I'm going to be featuring in a lot of the schedule, to be honest. We have TTL, we've got Mini League up tomorrow. Mini League 2 with myself and a possible as yet unnamed co-commentator alongside me. I don't know who it is. It could just be me by myself. Bit of a mouthful to say that, but it could just be me by myself. And I think if that is the case, then I will take you through. Of course, there's not going to be any stream tomorrow. There's not going to be any comments within the stream tomorrow. This is due to a few, let's just say, miscreants within the comment section last time for Mini League. There's going to be no comment section in either streams, as far as I'm concerned. There's going to be no, certainly not for Mini League 2 anyways. And then after Mini League, the bandwagon rolls on once again to TTL F1. Be Kieran McGinley and myself in the commentary box for that. Providing that Kieran is not hungover from tonight's antics at work. And his work leaving too. I hope not, anyways. Then on Friday, TTFL, you should be having Mug back in the commentary box for that. If not, you will be having me once again. I will be alongside him anyways as co-commentator for that. So if Mal can't make it, I will be solo commentator. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with me once again. And then Saturday, of course, TT Project Cars Round 3. We roll on to Watkins Glen. Short track for what promises to be some hell of a racing for that. And that's the schedule for this week. Yeah, it's going to be a long week. It's going to be a long week, and it's going to be a long week, especially for me with my commentaries. But hey, there you go. Very committed to the cause, I think is what they say. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching TTL F2 here tonight. A very dominant win from Honey Badger, who takes the win here from Afri and Lyronics. I'll see you around. I've been JamesHead14. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.